Good day, listeners and everybody serious about scripture. This video today is a comparison between Xhosa Bible and an English Bible. So we're focusing on Deuteronomy 32, where Moses is saying his last words to the children of Israel before he goes up to the mountain where he's going to die at. Okay, so we're looking at each and every verse by verse, comparing from English to the Xhosa. But then we're starting from Xhosa first, okay? So because we regard the Xhosa as the original, something closest to the original scrolls or original writings, okay, that were translated into English. So we using the Xhosa as the primary or as the leading reading, and then whatever discrepancy, whatever something that's missing in the English or written wrong in the English, that's the one that we fix. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of those discrepancies and explain some parts of the verses verse by verse. Deuteronomy 32. Okay, so stay with us. Let's start with the first verse now. The first verse, there's no difference. So if there's no difference, you won't see any notes, okay? So give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. So Moses is saying, now, you'll see that Moses is saying word for word of what the Creator, Sonini, told him at some point or another, because he had, his regular meeting with him. So he has been told, so you'll see down the line where Moses speaks as if it's Sonini who's speaking, okay? So you just take note of that too. So if there are no changes, if the Xhosa is the same, I'll just read the English, okay? All right. So here, my doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon there. See, that tender herb is not supposed to be tender herb, okay? Because it says the green. The original scroll, which is Xhosa, it says upon the green, not tender herb. Okay, so you fix it. And the showers upon the grass. All right, so instead of that, I don't know why, because Gotlaza means green. Okay, which means the grass and all the green stuff, not tender herb. Where they getting in the tender herb, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. So, and then 3. Because I will publish the name of the Lord. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. So, Xhosa says exactly the same thing. So, ain't no changing it. Now, let's go on here. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just as right as he is. Now, instead of that judgment in there, it's supposed to be customs, because if you look at the Xhosa side, now focus on the bolder part. If you look at the sequen is a tradition, okay, as you can see in Google Translate. A sequen in practice, or isiko, is a custom, okay. At least when Google Translate got something, I'll put it up for you, okay. If they got it wrong, then I won't even put it up for you. So isiko means custom in practice. So when he says his rock is perfect, for all his ways are according to customs. That's why there is a sequence, which means according to customs, right? So that whole thing would be reading as, he's the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are according to customs. Okay, so get that right. Right, we'll move on. Now, here's some more parts. Here's some more changes in it. He's the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are. Okay, we've done the judgment part. So according to customs, all right? A God of truth. Now, that truth, in the Xhosa side, it says Wentembeko. Wentembeko is trustworthiness. It's not, as you can see, Google Translate at the bottom there. It's Wentembeko is trust, all right? It's not truth, it's trust. Okay, so God of trustworthiness, all right? Not truth, trustworthiness. I know he's the God of truth as well, but in this context, it's talking about trust. All right, so let's read the right thing. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, here's another part that's changed. He's a rock and without iniquity. Okay, the original text said he does not use mediation or lawyer. So without mediation or lawyer. Okay, that's what the original text said. But now the English is saying without iniquity. You see, if you only read the English, you'll miss the gist. You'll see way down the line here, things are starting to change. I mean, the whole verse totally changes in some of them. And you totally miss the whole scripture if you only focus on the English, because the original English is a translation from Xhosa. Okay, the original scrolls in Xhosa translated into English. So now there's a whole lot of things seep through the cracks during the translation. So that's why I'm doing this. One of my subscribers asked me specifically to do Deuteronomy 32. Okay, that's why I'm doing it here. So iniquity, instead of iniquity, is lawyer. Goeta is lawyer. Okay, as you can see in the bottom there, pull up Google Translate so y'all can see Goeta is lawyer. All right, so he don't use no mediation lawyer or anything like that. His ways is trustworthy. No Goeta, no mediation or lawyer. All right, let's move on. Now here's another part which is in the top there. I didn't speak about it. We're still in verse 4. Can you see all 4 things only in just one verse? Now, he is the rock. Okay, that's what the English says. Now, the Xhosa says he's liwa. A liwa, let me show you what a liwa is. There. A liwa is a fall, like where it's something that when you walk on, there is a point of no return. That point of no return is called liwa. Okay, where if you go beyond that point, you fall, you crash, that's your worst part. So you don't want to go beyond that point. That point is called liwa. Okay, in English it's called fall, but it can be something, anything, but you cannot go beyond liwa. Liwa is like your stop, point of no return kind of thing. Okay, you cannot go past it. So now he says he is liwa, not rock. In English, you'll miss it. Liwa, because now there's a whole lot of connotations are attached to that picture there. Okay, the liwa, the whole label of liwa, it's all connected to the fact that he's the ultimate, in other words. So you cannot go beyond his word. You cannot go beyond what he said. He's a liwa. Okay, that's why in this verse here he says he is the liwa. Okay, he is the liwa. His work is perfect. Blah blah blah. All right. So I wanted you all to understand what that means. The liwa. He is the liwa. The rock thing, you'll miss the point if you say he's the rock. Okay, rock, whatever. You can find rocks anywhere. But liwa is something you can never go beyond. All right. That's what a liwa is. It's like something you fall over. All right. So in other words, okay, I put it, this is how it should read. He's the ultimate. His work is perfect. For all his ways are according to customs. A God of trustworthiness and without iniquity, just and right is he. Okay. Or without iniquity, I should have even said that iniquity, I should have said without lawyership. Okay. But you understand, you see all the changes that happen in that verse 4. Okay. Right, let's move on to the next one. So now the next one, verse 5. They have corrupted. Now that there is a problem already, because the Xhosa is saying this is zukulwana, which means a generation. But the English just says they. Okay, it's a little vain there. It's a little vague, but it says they have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of the children. They are perverse and cruel. So now that they in there has to say generation. Okay, zukulwana means generation. There's Google translated at the bottom, right? So now, let's move on to see. There's a whole lot of things that are different in this. Just each and every one of these verses here. There's a whole lot of mistranslations, as I'm showing you here. Now here, same. We're still in 5. You can see there. Now it says they have corrupted. Now. We already saw that day is not supposed to be they, it's supposed to be a generation. Zukulwana is a generation, okay? So a generations is a jibiliza. Jibiliza is to dance sideways, okay? Typically like this here. Let me show you. There's a picture. So jibiliza is to dance. That's what that is. So Sonini really hates that dance. That kind of dance, moving the ways like this, called jibiliza, okay? Even Google Translate calls it swing. Jibiliza is to swing, okay? So Sonini says it himself. He says, a generation is jibiliza, it means dancing sideways. Okay, so he really hates it. Maybe let me stop there. Let me not carry on, because there's a whole lot of changes as we carry on in that verse. Okay, so we'll focus on the bolded parts that we already covered. Okay, so a generation is jibiliza. So that means a generation that's dancing sideways, right? Which you can see what dancing sideways is. That kind of dance. He hates that, right? And then Let's go on. Bijelene is to be intertwined, as you can see. Google Translate got it right too. Google Translate, sometimes they do get it right, but some words they just get wrong or they don't even have them. So intertwined or integrated. That bijelene means to be integrated. Okay. So it says they have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not okay. Before the spot, English is just it's not really interpreting what's going on in the original scrolls. It's just in twisting the words, and then within the twisting the words, they miss a whole lot of words. They drop a lot of words in there. Okay, the Esibijanele, for example, is not in this English. It just says they are corrupted. It's Jibilizayo. The Jibilis are dancing sideways is not there. The Bijalaneo, which means the intertwined, integrated generations, it's not there. It just, the English just says corrupted themselves. Boom, that's it. And now if you only read English, you'll miss that. Okay, Sonini hates that dancing sideways thing, and he also hates integration. He don't like his people being integrated with nations. That's what it is. Okay, so as you can see there, Bijeleneo means integration. With all that integration, in a mingling, he says it many times that he don't like integration and intermingling. If people did understand the scripture, the original scrolls, the Xhosa one, and not only read the English, which hides all these important things, the integrations and stuff, then they would not think that's cool to be integrating with other nations. They would not think that's acceptable because they will see, oh, Sonini hates this, so they'll stop it, right? But people read just the English, and then they don't understand. And even the ones that they don't understand other languages. Sonini says you have to follow his word. If you don't know what's going on, find out. But it's not an excuse to say, no, I didn't understand, so that's why I did it in church. They didn't talk about it. He says you have to find out. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. Amos says that. Sonini talks to Amos and say, my people perish. Okay, Amos is one of the people who's supposed to go to children and say, hey, Sonini, your father says that. Okay, so Sonini says it himself. All right. Okay, let's move on. So we're still in the same 5. Can you see how many differences in there? Because now verse 5 is so twisted in English. They put the first word last, and then when they're doing that, they cut out a whole lot of important information out of it. So look at there. The English says their spot is not the spot of his children, which is totally different from the original scroll. The original scroll says they have corrupted themselves to him. That's what the original scroll. But now the English said no, their spot is not the spot of his children. I mean, that's clearly not saying the same thing. Their spot is not the spot of his children. Doesn't say nothing about they have corrupted themselves to him. So they are not the original thing that he wanted. They have corrupted themselves to him. They are bijeleneo, that means they are intertwined. They are jibiliza, which means they are doing that sideways dance he hates. English don't cover none of that. All right? Okay, so here's another thing. English cut out the whole 2 lines. Singenyana bakhe sisiphako sabo, which means not just his sons, but the whole bunch of them. English don't have that. English just ends at, oh, they're perverse, crooked generations, boom. It's not saying it's not just his sons, but the whole bunch of them. Can you see how, you end up missing? You'll see even worse as we go down. We're still in verse 5. I mean, we're going to see worse. All right? Still the same. So verse 5, when we summarize it should have read the English one. A generation swing dancing, integrated. They have corrupted themselves to him. Not just his sons, but the whole bunch of them. That's what the English should have read. But I don't know what that is they've written in there. It's so vague, so highlighted. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of children. They are perverse and crooked generation. That's it. I mean, you're missing a whole lot of words. You just end it there. Okay, let's go on to 6. 6, it says, is it not thy father that has bought thee? That's what the English is saying. But now, the Xhosa, the original writing says, created. Oh, dale, to dale is to create. As you see, Google Translate about. To dala is to create. Okay, so he says, is it not thy father that has created thee? But no, they're taking that part. That's no, created. Let's put it aside. They changed it. They say no, bought. I mean, that's clear. That's a very clear. It's not a mistranslation. That's a clear change because those words are not the same. They're not even related. Created and bought, two totally different words. Okay, so yeah, he said that is created. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 7. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Now, here it says, if the English now, it says if he's talking to one father, but the original scroll says, as your forefathers, oisho, that is your fathers, and they, and they will show you. See? But no, he says, no, ask thy father, and he will show thee. No, it's not one person. He's talking to a nation. You see, these English people, they're trying to, they're trying to diminish that nation of children of Israel as the apple, as the the important grain that is supposed to be behaving. But now they said, no, he was talking to just one person who was offline, he's trying to be. No, he's talking to the whole nation. Talk to your fathers, and they will tell you, right? That's what that English should be saying. Now let's go on to 8. 8 is good. There ain't no change in there. When Most High divided the nation and inherited, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds according to the number of children. So that one, at least, they left it there. Okay, to show that he's still talking to the children of Israel. 9, still the same. He didn't do. For the Lord portion is for his people. Jacob is his inheritance. Okay. Now the English people, I don't know how they left this one clear, because it clearly says Jacob's lot is his inheritance. His son is, they should have known Jacob is the one that became Israel after that wrestling with the angel in the wilderness. So then that's the Israel, that's the whole nation, then that's his inheritance. But they said, no, it's the Gentiles as well. How is that then? Okay, anyway. Wow. 10. They left out the whole word in there. That enyanyen, the English don't have any word for enyanyen, like the open empty space called enyanyen. Like somebody, when you abandon somebody without, a reason or without giving them an alternative, that person say, oh, you abandoned me, enyanyen. Okay, so enyanyen is like an emptiness without anything to fall back on or work with. So now in English, there's no one word for that. So they just completely cut it out. They say now he found him in the desert land and in their, boom, okay, a waste howling wilderness. They didn't say enyanyen. Enyanyen, they skipped it. And then wait in the waste howling wilderness. Okay, because now it's 3 things. It's a desert land, enyanyeni, which is now the empty space, and the third thing is the howling wilderness. Three adjectives, sorry. 3 adjectives for this thing. But no, they only put 2 in there. They left out the enyanyen. Why? As you can see, even in Genesis, they just didn't know what to put in enyanyen. You'll see Xhosa on the left-hand side in this one. This is from my previous lesson here. I just copied and pasted it in here. So in there, I had Xhosa on the left-hand side. So it says the whole word, and then English said, okay, what do they put in there now? English didn't know what to put because they don't have a word. So same thing. They just put formless in there. Formless. Because the empty is lubala, sibala, so it's already covered. So the formless is the one that's correlating with nyanyen, which is totally not true. Nyanyen, does not mean formless. All right? So they don't have any word for it. They keep putting wrong, different words. Because even here, they put, instead of nyanyen, they just cut it out completely. Because in Genesis, they messed up. They say formless. But now here, they say, okay, no, let's just cut it out. Because they don't know how to deal with this word, nyanyen. Right? And Sonini keeps using this word. And you'll see every time they use it, from Genesis onwards, in nyanyen, they just cut out everywhere. Anything that's a nyanyen. But anyway, so we are in 10 now. 10, he said he led him out. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple. Now, okay, let me read word one by one. Okay, so you can see. So the one is the one we just read now. He led him out. So that's what the English says. Now, the original writing says, "Wamuwala." To walla is to pick up something, like you see in that picture there. When you pick up the dirt, it's called you are walla. Okay, that's what walla. The act is called walla. Right. So Sonini says, "I walled the children of Israel. I walled them." All right, from they were busy, they were in the wilderness, in the dry land, open space and stuff. I walled them. The wall. But now the English says, no, he let them out. Let them out of what? He walled them. So you need to understand what was going on in there. Okay. So I won't go ahead. I'll just end at the wall because there's so much wrong. Even when we go ahead, go further down in this verse 10. Okay. So he walled them, right? And then he says, English says he kept them, but now the original scroll says he preserved. Londoloza is to preserve. Okay, Londoloza is to preserve. There we go. You can see Google Translate at least got it here. Londoloza preserved, as you can see up there. Okay, because to keep is to clean. It's a different word. Sonin is used the word that he knew. He means preserve. He preserved the children of Israel. So about Londoloza, no, he didn't keep them. He preserved them. Right? So get the right wording in there. And let's go. Still on the same verses, people, and then 10 wa mondla. Now English says instruct to mondla is to feed somebody, okay? To feed somebody, not instruct, is to feed them. Right? So English might say, no, then he was instructing them, he was feeding them with knowledge, so that means instruction. No, don't interpret the scripture. Just read it as it is. You are translating, not interpreting. Okay, whoever's writing that English. So wamondla, which means he fed them, right? Because they probably were hungry. He gave them manna, so he must not, he didn't instruct them, he fed them, right? That's what it is. That's what that word is, right? And then now, here's another thing. In the same 10, that end up there is not supposed to be there because it gives a wrong context in there. It changes the gist of this line. It says, he found him in the desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. Because now remember, they skipped the Nyanyeni part. They say, and now it says here, he found them in the desert land, comma, in a desert land, like he found them in the same place, not he found them here and this place and that place, as if he found them in 3 different places. So there was a bunch of children of Israel in the desert land and there was another bunch in the wilderness. No. He found them in the desert land, in the waste howling wilderness. That end is not in there. It says desert land in the waste howling. See, desert land, open space, the howling wilderness. There's no end, as if those are separate places, okay? Because now you see, if it's okay. Anyway, let me not carry on. So, okay, let's carry on to the next one. The next one is talking about where is it? Hold on. Then you see this line I just read now. It reminds me of Matthew. Remember the Savior talking about, yeah, if anyone tells you they is out in the wilderness, do not follow him. Out in there, do not follow him. It just, I got an idea that, these people, are they trying to pave a way for this kind of life? That if somebody says he's in the desert land, he's in the wilderness, then you must start to think, yeah, that's probably him. Because now they already said that is he found him. So they're trying to make it is the he. You remember in the previous one when I said that him should, like, your forefathers, it should be a plural because it's talking to a bunch of children of Israel, not a him. That's where now they're trying to tie that him to this one to say, okay, that's he, or he was found in the desert land. So if Moses said it, that means then, Matthew should agree, if people say he's in the wilderness and Moses said it, then that's a prophecy fulfilled, that they're trying to, tie the stuff so that it makes sense as if it's going to be true. I don't know if you are following what I'm saying now. Okay. All right, so same in the 10. This part, okay, let me find this chapter. There's part that I'm not seeing here. Because the apple, that apple at the bottom there. See, remember, like when he says he kept him as the apple of his eye, that apple is not, it's supposed to read grain of his eye, not apple. I don't know why they have this apple here. Because apple is like, this pagan thing of them having the apple, it's cause the cause of it says not cause. Cause is grain. Okay, as you see Google Translate, it's a cause means grain. So he amlondoloza jenge cause. He preserved him like grain of his eye, not apple of his eyes. Grain. Cause is a grain. Okay, so y'all can understand how things are, how the interpretation should have happened. So in all, the verse 10 should have read, he found him in a desert, an empty open space, in the waste howling desert, wilderness. He collected him, he fed him, he preserved him as the grain of his eye. That's how the 10 should have read. Not that whole thing there. I don't know what they understand from the original scrolls what they were saying, right? Then you get a better understanding of this stuff. Okay, so here's another one. We're in 11 now. Spreaders abroad her wings. As an eagle, he stirred up her nest, flutters over her young. He spread abroad. Now, that's what the English, but now the Xhosa one, he says he spread his wings. Okay, he spread his wings. He spread his wings. But now the English says he spread abroad her wings. Now, who is this her? Now they're trying to put Diana and all these, these pagan female gods on them, because it's not a her, it's a his. He spread his wing. Okay, he spread his wings. Now here, spread is abroad her wings. Now, why her? Now you can guess already. Now 12. Strange. Now, and there was no strange God with him. Strange. All right. Now that's talking about now they when the children of Israel were still good. Okay. So there was no strange God with him. Now engenathi wolunye uhlanga. Okay. Wolunye uhlanga. So wamkhokhela uYehova yedwa engenathi wolunye uhlanga, which means no God of other nations. All right. Now English says no strange God. It doesn't say other nations. That strange is not supposed to be strange. It's supposed to be other nations, not just strange. Okay, other nations, God. All right. Okay, here the rock. Now here, suck the honey out of the rock. Okay. Now the original scroll says out of the wild land land forms. Ingonoha is a like the picture there. It's like very wild land form. It's so hard to walk in there. Okay, that's actually a figure of speech. Okay, when somebody gives you something, that means in desperate situations, you are really in desperate situation. You probably can't get food. You are you're stuck or something, and somebody come give you honey. Honey gives you something that's good. Honey was regarded as something that's really good. Somebody is giving you cheeseburger, something really good. Okay, so he says, ubus is honey. Okay, so he gave him honey in the wild land forms. That's a figure of speech. He gave him honey in wild despair. All right, that's what this figure of speech is. So you gotta understand. But now the English says he sucked honey, but off the rock. I mean, that's even out of context. He made him to suck honey, but off the rock. Doesn't even make sense. Okay. But then if you read the original scroll, it says he gave him honey. He gave him honey. Bus's honey. Gave him honey which means in the wild, in that wild land forms. Is the wild land form, the desperate one. Okay. So which is a figure of speech anyway. But English don't have that, so you won't understand that if you only read that English one. Right? Okay, 13. 13 is another figure of speech too. It says, out of the rock, and oil. Now he didn't only give him the honey. Now he gave him oil as well. Out of the equator. Okay, equator is that whole. I'll put a picture for you so you can understand what equator is. When inclement weather that's full of blowing. It's really hard, and your skin get dried up. No, it's not rain, it's wind. Okay, so it's full of dust, it's full of, so it really dries up your skin, right? Not probably dust, but, heavy blowing winds and probably cold. And it's a storm, okay? So he keeps you oiled up through the storm, all right? As you are standing at the tipping point. I mean, that's a really desperate situation, all right? But he comes, okay? He keeps you oiled up in the heavy inclement, like tip of point weather. Okay, so when you're at a situation, a heavy weather, you are under the weather, and you're not just under the weather, you can still survive. You're at a tipping point, you're almost gonna fall. You're under the weather to a point that you're gonna die. Right? That's what that means. But then he keeps you oiled up. in that situation. That's a figure of speech, all right? So an oil eweni lequita, okay? So an oil eweni is a tipping point of a hurricane or whatever it is, but it's a figure of speech, all right? You understand now what that figure of speech is. So he keeps you oiled up, he keeps you motivated, he keeps you oiled up, okay? Even in the worst situation, heavy blowing weather where you cannot move forward anymore, right? That's what the figure of speech is. But now in English will say oil out of the flinty rock. I mean, what is that? Gives you oil out of a flinty rock. All right, let's move on there. So 14, amas enkomonobi. So butter of kine, right? English got it right. And milk of sheep. Now, the English just said sheep. It's supposed to be sheep and goats because Impatlem Puchane is a combination of sheep and goats, right? When you exclude cows, and then that means sheep and goats remaining, all right? So that's what it is. So it gives you milk of sheep and goats, right? That's what it is. Smaller livestock is those two, right? And then here's another different part. And rams of the breed of Bashan. See, that one is the heavy loaded there. Because now that's what the English says. Now the original code, it says, Amatakan ase Bashan. Ase Bashan. So it says, and ram of, not breed of Bashan. It's not a breed. It's just a ram that grew up in Bashan. Not because, it's because the owners live in Bashan. So they are the lambs of Bashan. Why lambs of Bashan? Let me show you Bashan, okay? Bashan is a place right there. Okay, you can see. I hope you can see. It's called Mpashe, okay? Mpasheni. That's how you say Bashan, Mpasheni. Mpashe is well known even today. It's an evergreen area. As you can see, even on the map, it's green. Now, the lambs that live there, they're always fat because that place is always green. So that's why Sonin says it's like the lambs of Bashan. Okay, so kunyana nenkunzi zezimvu amatakane ase Bashan. So that means they were well fed. These children of Israel were so happy and well fed. They were like amatakan, like lambs of Bashan. Okay, not a breed. It's not a certain breed. It's just because they are grazing. They are living in Bashan. All right. Right, as you can see, Mpasheni, there it is. It's called Mpasheni even today. They never change the names. It's all this changing of the names, okay? That place is there in the southern part of Africa again, all right? Mpasheni. It's always green. You'll see, hey, I'm crossing Mpashe. You know, people used to like walking. Even today, they don't be driving through there. You like walking in scenery, Mpashe, right? Mpasheni, right? Okay. They like holding a lot of sports too. Boxing, they like holding boxing for some reason. They like having boxing and stuff in Mbashe. Okay. But anyway, let's move on. So here, now this kidneys of wheat. Oh my goodness. See this video, it took me almost 2 days to do because each and every word was wrong in the English translation. One, because they don't understand what they're talking about. Two, they don't understand the figure of speech is in there. Okay. And three, they're trying to sneak in some pagan stuff as well. So they had to make a whole lot of changes in here. So now here, this one, kidneys of wheat. Now, kidneys of wheat won't make sense to an English person because with the fat of kidneys of wheat, what's the kidneys of wheat? Okay. But now you'll understand if you say, oh, okay, isn't so that means healthy kidneys, like, you know, kidneys of animals. Those animals eat wheat, okay? So they've got healthy kidneys. That's what that means, all right? So kidneys of wheat, not kidneys made up of wheat, but kidneys of animals that eat wheat, right? That's what that is. So it's the fat of those kidneys, all right? Now, same 14. Now, they completely cut out this one. Wine in a grape, which means foaming wine. Okay, wine, remember now, wine is a grape juice, right? So English just cut out the whole part. They just say the fruit of the grape, which is blood of the grape, boom, period. They didn't bother about the foaming part of it, which means, like, you see an example there. Because now, wine, according to the Bible, is the grape, is the fruit of the vine. Okay, as you can see now, which I just read, it's the fruit of the vine. But what these pagans are doing is they take that grape, the fruit of the vine, and they add spirits in there. the spirits that take over your body when you drink wine or alcohol, those are evil spirits you're drinking. They're even called spirits. So what they do, they pour spirits in there. Some people get violent, beat wives, or some people, you never act normal when you got evil spirits in you. They're called unclean spirits. So those unclean spirits, they can live in liquids. So what they do, they put those unclean spirits in liquids, because that's what they do. These witchcrafts, they work under the sea, because those evil spirits can work, can live, can breathe, can live under the water. Okay, so they live in those waters, in the spirit. So they pour them in the wine, in the grape juice, and then the grape juice, it becomes alcoholic. Now, when you're drunk, it's not because of a chemical reaction, it's because the evil spirit take over your mind and cause you to act the way they are, the way that evil spirits is like. Okay, so you all need to understand that when you drink spirits, when you drink alcohol, you're drinking spirits. Even alcohol is called spirits. Okay, so some people say, no, but the Savior changed water into wine. Yeah, into grape juice, not evil spirits, grape juice. Okay, and they did not pour evil spirits in there. So if they wanted to be mellow, because the Bible talks about, like Noah was drunk and stuff. So if they want to be drunk, they use a different way, not pour spirits in there that would, cause you to act haywire. They ferment it. They put it in the sun for so long, and they add some stuff in there. Not evil spirits. They add things. They make it, and they age it so that it can make them mellow. Somebody can explain to you how they even make combo tea and stuff. So that's a beer, African beer. So, but there's no spirits in there. All right. Okay, let's move on. 15. But Jehoram waxed fat and kicked out. Okay, hold on a minute. My back hurts here. Okay, yeah, I'm back now. Trying to sit in a more comfortable way. My back hurt. All right, now, so Jehoram waxed fat and kicked out. So if you only read English, you won't understand what that kick is talking about. And kicked. Okay, why would you kick? Okay, but if you understand, cause when somebody has got a big stuff, it's called he's kicked. He's kicked. So he's starting to kick. That means his stuff is bursting out. Okay, so he's getting fat. His stomach is getting big. Even in Zulu, one of the Bantu languages, a big stomach is called umkaba. Okay, that means it's a kick. It's called a kick. That's what big stomach is. When you're fat, it's called you've got a kick in your stomach, umkaba. Right? So that's what. So he waxed fat and he covered. He kicked. That's what that kick is. Okay, I had to just explain to you also so you understand what that kick is. So let's go to 16. And provoke him to jealousy. So there's no change in here. Okay, no change in 17 either. Let's go on 18. 18 here is something I also want to explain. So now they put a wrong word there. It says forgotten God that formed. No, it's not formed. Okay, that had emotional pain of a nimba. Just the Google Translate don't have this one. So a nimba is a pain that you feel, an emotional pain felt by parent. It's like if you're a parent and you see your son or your daughter getting sentenced to prison or whatever, and you're in the same court, you feel a nimba, you feel a pain on the behalf of your kid. That's called a nimba. Okay, so it says, and God that had a nimba for you. Okay, nimba ngawe, nimba for you. All right. Okay, so not formed no. Nimba, that has that pain, right? So that shows how the children of Israel really, because Sonin feels like a parent to them, so he feels a nimba about them, right? Okay, 19, no change. I have to go a little faster. I'm getting tired. I had a long day today. Okay, so 20, for they are a very forward generation now. That forward, it says dynamic changing, not just forward. Because forward is like, okay, somebody's out of order. No. Changing. What kind of out of order means changing? They're unstable. Sempendu. Kampenduka is something that keeps changing all the time. Right? It's unstable. So they are a very unstable generation. That's what it should have said there. Right? Okay, same 20. English says, in whom there is no faith. No. It says, who are untrustworthy, in whom there's no trust, in whom nobody can trust. Yeah, that's how it should be. Not in whom there's no faith. No. They are untrustworthy. So in whom nobody can trust. It's about somebody else not trusting them. Not them just not having faith. No. It's about somebody else not trusting them. Because they are untrustworthy. Tembeko means trust. At least go translate carry the bottom there. Okay. And move on. 21. 21, I just I just had to explain to put a picture of that one to just summarize it. So I'll read it for you so you can relate with the picture there. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. That's now something saying. And I will move them to jealousy with those who are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Can you see now the history repeats itself? So you can't blame all these Hebrew Israelites and all everybody trying to, point out that, yeah, you fake Jews, you fake. They are provoked into jealousy. No matter how they might be doing it the wrong way, maybe too arrogant and stuff or occult, but the cause is the same. They are provoked into jealousy because they know we're the children of Israel, but them are fake. Okay. So that's what that line. So everybody must just point them. Deuteronomy 32 verse 21 is talking about exactly what they're doing on the street, talking about, they don't like what the fake Jews is doing. Okay. 22, there's no change in there. Go as fast as you can past that. 23, no change. So you can read the English. It's exactly as what Xhosa says. Now here, with burning heat, it's not heat, burning cravings. Right? It's not heat. So ukhala is cravings. So get that understanding straight. Right? So, and here, poison of serpents. It's not serpents, it's insects. Says nambuzane. Ubuhlungu bez nambuzane. So he didn't send serpents again. So he's not saying he's going to send them serpents. So this one is saying, I will send teeth and I'll send poison. No, he's going to send insect poison, like those sets of those insects that are still biting people in today, causing all this malaria and stuff. That is what he's talking about. Not more serpents. You're not going to send us serpents. You send us this nambuzane, the bunch of flies found in Africa. People be talking about them. And all the mosquitoes found in Africa. That's what this is talking about. He's saying ubuhlungu and annoying. This is nambuzane. Annoying or pain or disease or sick. Ubuhlungu is just pain, okay? Not just physical pain, but pain, something that's just a nerve. Right? So you'll send those insects, not serpents. I don't know why English is saying it's sending serpents. No, we're not expecting serpents. We're expecting is nambuzane, which means insects. Okay, which is what we're seeing right now. Okay, and then 25, they cut out the whole word. They cut out the see, okay, let me read it. The sword dash without, okay, that whole thing is just wrong. Okay, first of all, that without is supposed to be outside. Okay, so outside there will be a sword will run. Okay, now Sonny is telling them outside the sword will run, it shall destroy. That's what's going to happen. But now it says a sword without. I mean, that's it. I mean, how can a sword without? It's so. But the original writing said outside will run a sword. Now, if you don't see that and you only read a sword without, what's a sword? It don't make sense at all. So the original scholar said outside will run a sword. Kapandle kopanga ikrele is a sword. Panga is to run. Like when you bullied, chased by a sword, that means panga, getting a whole lot of people out there. And then kapandle means outside. But now here, a sword without, just don't make sense. It's like the translator here didn't even care. Now he was sick and tired. So here, a sword will run. They skipped the will run. He said a sword without. They didn't say a sword will run. Maybe at least they didn't even bother to put that will run. Why? Beats me. Because now they should clearly state that sword will be working there. Now, going on. And then it says, and terror within. What's within? No. Egonzi is where everybody gather. It's a common place, a common area like playgrounds or people where people gather. Some people sit around for drinks in a circle, whatever. So that's called the zikonzini. You know, a man will come back like as the sun goes down. Hey, where you been the whole day? I've been as zikonzini, man. Hey, I've been sitting with my friends, hang out. So it's like a hangout place. Okay, so is it zikonzini? It's a playground or hangout place. Okay, so it says that there will be terror is it zikonzini. Okay, so in terror, I just say play fields or hangout place or so. Now the English just says within. Okay, that's not a within. A zikonzini is not a within. Okay, so you can understand better. Understand Xhosa, the original writing, what it said. Okay. Now, in all, because there's so many changes in it, all in all, you should read, the sword will run outside, and terror in playfields shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. Okay, that's how that should read. Okay, going on 26. I said now, the originals, you'll even say, it won't make sense if I say. The original writing said, I'd rather say, okay, I would scatter them into corners. I would make them remembrance of their sins from among men. But, if you read 27 now, but I'm not going to do it because other nations are going to think that, blah, 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 you know, we'll read it next. Okay, so that's what this is saying. But now the English says, I said. No. He says, ngeba nditi. Ngeba means I'd rather say. All right? That's what that says. It's small difference, but it gives a better understanding if you just read what it said originally. Okay? So 27, were it not, I feared the wrath of the enemy. In case they say, and I'm paraphrasing now, lest the adversary say, you know, stuff. So let me read now what it should have said. No, that feared, it's not feared, it's withdrawn. Koko ngungupele is to be withdrawn, okay? Not fear, you're not fearing, you're just disappointed. You know, when your parents, you know, you disappointed them, they sit down withdrawn and disappointed, you know, hands on their face and stuff. That's called pale, all right? Somebody say, oh, what's wrong? It's not because you have fear, because you are just withdrawn, all right? So that's what sonini is. He said, kundishwa is disappointment, okay? Not wrath of the enemy. Why would sonini fear wrath of the enemy? Really? So he says, koko ndinxungupheleyo kukundiswa lutshapu. So that means koko I am withdrawn by the disappointment of the enemy. Okay, were it not I feared, were it not withdrawn because of the disappointment. Okay, understand this part really good. All right, I try to map it out for you so you can understand this word. Okay, still on 27, you can see it's like the whole verse, all these verses gotta change, all of them. They got problems. And then it says that should have themselves strangely. Okay, that one is totally out. Okay, hleze ababandezeli babo bangaqondi. Ukungaqondi is to not understand. Okay, hleze lest their adversaries not understand. Not lest the adversary should have themselves strangely. Oh, really? Should have themselves strangely. It's as if now these adversaries got some super upper hand on some, because that's what this 27 verse is giving a wrong impression, that these adversaries are feared. These adversaries make Sonini fear. They are behaving strangely and they don't understand. That's what kondi is, to understand. So they do not, banga means negative, they don't understand. Okay, banga kondi, they don't. So lest their adversaries don't understand. Okay, remember in the 26 he said, he would have done those things, but in case, this lest means in case or unless, lest their adversaries don't understand. And lest, let's carry on reading. And lest they say, lest they should say, our hand is not high, our hand has been lifted up. So the adversary would say, oh, it's not Sonini who did this, it's them, the children of Israel are the ones that are killing each other and stuff like that. So Sonini says, I would have sent this, I would have killed this, I would have that, but unless these adversaries don't understand and instead they think you're all killing each other. That means our hand has been lifted up and the Lord has not done all this. So that means the children of Israel are killing each other. So that means he's not going to do that right there, because in case these adversaries don't understand and see it wrong. Okay, here is how 27 should have read with fixing all these issues they had. Were it not that I'm withdrawn due to the disappointment by the enemy, lest their adversaries should not understand, and lest they should say, our hand is lifted up, and the Lord has not done all this. That's what they should have translated that to. Okay, but put their own thing in there. 28, not changed, so we skipped on there. 29, good, they had it right there. Where's 30? Let's scroll up to 30. Okay, we're almost there. 30 says, okay, that how should, no, it's not should, it said never would. So sonini is like yo, never, because yo is a Xhosa exclamation, not just an American one. Hey, yo man. See, the Bantu people in the States have character. It's in the blood, it's in the DNA. Okay, how they be acting, even if they don't know the Xhosa language, even though they don't know any Bantu language, but their DNA is reflecting, as you can say, yo, ebenga, that's a gesture in the villages, in the rural areas. So it's not like they saw it in some rap song and stuff. No. So here, yo means it's exclamation. Okay, so never would. That ebenga ikuti means never would. Okay, never would one chase 1,000, and so that means they would not. These pagans would not take a chance. They would not have one of them had confidence to chase 1,000. Okay, and okay, let me see now. Somebody, yeah. So that part says never would. Okay, so he's swearing, yo, never would. Okay, one chase 1,000. Right, that's what 30 says. Should have said. Okay, and then now they completely cut out. I don't know why English cut out that word in there, kubo, which means to them. Of them. Okay, so which means chase 1,000, and no, never would one of them. Okay, but now English doesn't say one of what, it says just one chase 1,000, so that they can put anything in there. But the original scroll says one of them. Kubo means of them. One of them chase 1,000. Okay, so I don't know why they left that part over there, but they left it out. And then here at the bottom there it says, and the Lord shall not shut them up. No, it says shall. Banikela means to give them up. Okay, I don't know why that part is cut up, but it means to give them up. Banikela means to give them up. All right, that's what it is. Not shut them up. Okay, because that's what Sonini did. He gave up the children of Israel. Okay, to evil people, made them slaves and stuff. But he didn't shut them up. He gave them up. That's what he does. When somebody does wrong, he gives you up to all the demons that are always hovering anyway. So he does not do evil to you. He just gives you up. That means he stops protecting you, and then you are a victim. Okay, so he will not do evil to you. He gives you up. So that's what this is. Not shut them up. The English is just promoting his own thing here. Okay, so this is in total how this should have read. Oh, never would one of them chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to fight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had given them up. Okay, so now you can understand, but it makes more sense. Not that one chase and put the. Now you understand better when you see what the original text included in there. So 31 is just the last part. Why they just excluded that last word there, it beats me. Because it's a very important last word there. Boko means of that. Alright? So it says, for their rock is our rock. Okay. Kuba eli. So that means for their rock is not our rock. Okay. Even our enemies themselves being judges of that. Okay. So now these pagans, as if they're going to be judges. No, they're just judges of that situation. Not judges like pagans are going to judge in heaven, they're going to judge, they judge, Israel. No, no. He says they're just judges, boko. But now English cut out the boko. They say not judges. So they're judges of the fact that their liwa is not the same as this liwa, because they've seen what the children of Israel liwa does. Okay, the tipping point, the man who's the tipping point, you can't go beyond him, the creator. They've seen what he does for the children of Israel, so they are the judges they give testimony of that situation, because they've been put through serious trouble through the children of Israel, by the children of Israel, and so they can testify to that. They're judges of that. But now the of that is cut out by the English people, as if they generally judge. Gomorrah, okay, here there's no change, but I just wanted to include something that Gomorrah means forgive. Okay, it's some language called Shangan in the southern part of Africa. So, and the people that speak that language, that Gomorrah, the Shangan, they are despised even today. They are so, they are not like I'm judging them, but the impression, the perception of how they are in the southern part of Africa, whole southern part of Africa, they perceive Shangan as if they are non-humans. They're not people. They're not. They really degrade them in such that they don't. They regard them as very unruly bunch of people. That's what people, the Shangan people. Okay, and Gomorrah means forgive. In Shangan, Gomorrah is a Shangan language. Okay, so I'm not saying Sodom and Gomorrah was their nation, but I'm just saying Gomorrah is what they speak. Okay. All right, anyway. And then 34. Okay, let's see. That was 33. Yeah. 33, there's no change. Okay. 34, it's just one change. Vimba, treasures, not treasures, is storage. Okay. So sealed up among my storage. Okay. Vimba, my storage is not sealed up my treasures. No. If you wanted to say treasure, I would have said treasure. There's a word for treasure in Xhosa, but he said vimba, which means storage, right? It's clear on 35, and no change in there. Cruise past it. Now this part here, for the Lord shall judge his people. No, he shall judge within his people. This is very important, y'all. Okay, it might sound like, okay, within, now why would English exclude that within in there? Because if that within is in there, it shows clearly that the judgment is only going to be for the children of Israel. The pagans are not going to be judged, because they're automatically just going to go to hell. There's no sitting in court given a chance. No, they were judged when they were decided to be pagans and not follow certain ways and rules and stuff. They started going off tangent and follow. Do you think a Buddha worshipping person is going to stand in court and say, okay, you are sentenced to worship Buddha? No. They were judged back in the days when someone says, I'm going to kill everybody. And Cindy says, no, okay, let me die for this too. Let everybody die for themselves then, but I'm just going to die for these children of Israel. Okay, so punish me instead of them. But the punishment was set way long time ago. Okay, right? So the only reason why the children of Israel are not gonna be punished, the punishment judgment was set a long time ago. So the only reason is because they had somebody who already died for them. But the dying gotta happen. So the pagans don't have somebody who's gonna die for them. That's what I'm saying. So because Messiah was not a pagan, he was a children of Israel, so he died for his people. Matthew says that too. But anyway, so that's why now the English pagans who translated, they took out that within, so that no, the judgment is not going to be within the children of Israel. No, it can't be. It gotta be judgment. Shall judge his people. No, as if now he's judging his people as he's going to judge everybody else. No, he will judge within his people. Pakati kwa Bantu, within his people. That's what the judgment is. And that judgment is going to start in the temple. It's going to start with the Levites. It's going to start in the, now you understand. That's what the scripture says. Judgment is going to happen. It's going to start in there with the leadership. Okay, but it's within. Okay, that's what 36 is. Now 37 ain't no change. 38, no change. 39. We're cruising past now. It seems like I'm going to sleep in time today. 39, no change. And now here, I just wanted to put a picture there to show you what Sonin is saying. Sonin it says, for I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. That's Sonin is saying there. So I just wanted to put a picture to show you that that's the action that he's talking about right there. Okay. Okay, ain't no change in there too. So that was 40 and now we're in 41. Okay, 41 here. Come back with changes again now. And I will reward. Reward, no. He says I will revenge. Buyekeza means revenge, okay? Now Google Translate don't got none of these words, so that's why I'm not even pulling it up. So I will buyekeza kubatibam. I will revenge, okay? Kubatibam, to my adversaries, to those who hate me, okay? Not reward. Why would Sonini reward those who hate him? It don't even make sense. But them English people like, we want to be, they want pagans to think they're going to be rewarded, because the devil keeps lying to those people. Yeah, you're going to be rich after life. There's no. There's no reward, nothing. They're going to be revenge. Buyekeza means revenge. Okay, that's what's going to happen. It says that Buyekeza is going to revenge them. Okay, going to revenge himself to those who hate him. Okay, 42. Okay, 42. 42. It says, and the sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood. No. It says, due to the blood. Because now, when you say, it shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain of the captives. No. The slain and of the captives are not going to be slain any further. Okay, because now it says, and that is as if they are included. No. Let's read from this. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and the captives from the beginning. No. The captives are children of Israel, right? So he's not gonna. He says, it says due to the blood of the captives. He will, now here is how it. I will make mine arrows drunk with the blood of my sword. With the blood, and my sword shall devour flesh due to the blood of the slain and of the captives. Okay, so he will revenge to those who hate him. Now, if you hate children of Israel, you hate Sonin. That's what that is showing. Because now, Ngegaz means due to the blood of the slain and of the captives. Abahlajiweyo means slain, captives, okay? So Gegazi means due to the blood. Now you have to get this straight, because these pagans are trying to put some lazy little doctrine here, which is clearly trying to lie to them, thinking that's why they're relaxed, thinking that there's in the afterlife they're gonna be fun, and there's no afterlife, first of all. And when he returns, they're gonna die, no judgment for them. They're gonna just automatically go. All right. Now here's 42 again. From the beginning, it's some kind of a figure. It's a figure of speech, because when somebody does something which means due to the head full of hair. Okay, so that means full head, full blown. You are doing something to take full action or full force. That's what it is. So he says, and that. It says, due to the blood of the slain and of the captives, due to the of the captives, due to the head full of it. That means due to the full force of the enemy. I don't know if you get it, because the enemy, the enemy who persecuted the children of Israel were doing it sparing nothing. They did it in full force. So that means they did it with the head full of hair. That's a figure of speech of it. Okay, they did it with full force, in full. Okay, so now that's what that means. So slain of the captives, Jude Gentloko is the head. Okay, so Gentloko is Nesihluita, which means Hluita is full hair, right? You understand it now. So not from the beginning of revenge is upon that. That's totally out. Or ignore that one, the English translation. Gentloko means head, which means in full force. Because now he says, okay, let me read it from the beginning. Maybe you'll get it straight. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood. Okay? And my sword shall devour flesh. Okay? and that with the shall devour flesh. Okay, due to the blood. Okay, remember now we fix that part. Due to the blood of the slain and of the captives, due to the full due to of the captive that were punished in full force by the or due to the full force applied by the enemies, something like that. Okay, like actually you should read, it could read, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh due to the blood of the slain and of the captives, due to the full force applied by the enemy. That's how that should have read. Okay, if they wanted to factor in the figure of speech of full hair. Okay, full hair. Okay, but now it seems like the person who translated didn't even understand the figure of speech, because it's not like probably they were trying to be mean. It looks like they didn't understand what head of full of hair is in a flute. Okay, let's go 43. With his people. That with his people. No, it says because of his people. Now you see, they're changing the context too, or the gist of the verse, because it says, "Rejoice, all ye nations, with his people." No. Rejoice, all ye nations, because of his people. Because now the nations that were punished too, they were not even children of Israel, but they must be happy because at least they will get revenge. That's what that verse is about. All ye nations, because of his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. Then your blood will be automatically avenged as well. Okay, so that's why the children of Israel are blessings. It's one of those things. For the fact that the children of Israel are here and they went through trouble, those enemies who are your enemies too, even if you're not children of Israel, will be punished, and you benefit from that. So that's what that verse is. Not this English saying, rejoice all ye nation with his people. No, it's not just you are with people. Rejoice because of his people. Alright? Ngenxa means because of. Okay, it's not yeah. Okay. I go to 44, there's no change. 45, still good. No change in there. 46, good. Oh, there we go. 47. 47 is the thing. Why do they call it thing? Because it says Liz with a voice. Okay, it's not a thing. But they say, for it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing. Why? Because the original class says because this is not a vain voice. I see Liz with a voice. It's not a vain voice. Okay, clear. But why they just say Liz? It beats me. Because they don't want something that is, there's a certain voice that was given out, we have to follow that voice. No, there's an thing nailed on a cross and blah, no, nothing following. No. Because Moses was telling the children of Israel of how they should be acting going forward, or these things are going to happen, and these people are just saying a vain thing. No, it's a voice. They have to listen to that voice and take heed of it. Okay? Right. 48, no change. Proceed. 49, good. 50, no. Now 51, I just had to show you now. This Xhosa is the same that Cindy and Sonin was speaking, because now somebody still might be questioning. Now here, but no more questions. Now I'm not getting any more questions. I used to get them last year. This year has been smooth. Everybody's on board with the Xhosa language now, which is good. So here, ngenxa yokuba namenezayo kum. Okay, meneza is to do that transgression thing. See, now they're shooting themselves in the foot, these English people, because they have to translate that meneza, because they trespass. Because now they said mene tekele means many, whatever they're saying. But now all of a sudden they say, now trespass, because you've trespassed. Now, why don't they say, because you've many? Because now that's what they translate Daniel, right? They say many. Many is a translation. Somebody who talks bad, who dogs other people, talks bad behind who talks crazy stuff about somebody, and then he goes to lie to another person. It's not a gossiper. It's more than gossip. If somebody who say something here and promise, and then go to somebody else and say, you know what? Actually, I was thinking about doing it now. And then go somebody else and say, that one, does he really think I'm gonna do that? And then he goes to somebody, he's a many to say stuff about deceiving stuff. Okay, somebody who can't even be trusted. So Sosonin says, "Genga yokuba na meneza." To meneza is a verb. To do a mene act. It's called meneza. So na meneza kum phakathi konyana. Kum, remember even kum, Talita kum, remember when Msindisi was raising that little girl? Says tabata kum, take life from kum, like take life from me. Kum. Okay, tabata kum. So that just shows you those two words are put together there, so you can understand that Msindisi spoke Xhosa and Sonin wrote Xhosa in there. So that's just Xhosa language that I'm teaching you anyway in other lessons, so you understand. Okay, so there's no change in this, but I just had to put it in there so you'll understand, that you can see now, you can relate to it, that that's what was going on. Okay, Xhosa in there. Okay, 52, good, then no change in there. So I hope you all there. And that was the last verse in Deuteronomy 32. Cool. I hope my subscribers happy. It took me 2 full days to do these things. It was a lot of work because I had to compare read each and every word to make sure that it's saying what the English is saying, okay, and translate it through. And then if I can see something that's different, I try to see, stuff that can explain further. All right. So that's all from me. You can ask questions. You can, request stuff that you need clarity on. I'll make a video if it's something big that other people got a benefit from too, or I'll just reply to your comment if it's just something quick. Okay. All right. Bye.